So what we got some news. So today we got some fun. Ooh. Basically, right now I'm online to talk to someone with DAS, which I have been getting for the last 4 years. Um, with the Disney DAS, we have been able to usually to it's for people with disabilities. But recently, some things have come down, and it's been coming down like okay. So yesterday we got the news about the DAS. Everyone was really upset about it, and because they really didn't go full into the extent of what is going to be said and what can qualify. Right now, it looks like everything is basically gone. For those who only they have this. So let me read to you what they have on their actual website. For guests visiting from April 9th, that would be yesterday, through May 19th, 2024, please note pre-arrival conversations to determine eligibility for DAS are available for 2 to 30 days prior to your park visit. In-person conversations to determine eligibility for DAS will continue to be at guest relations locations. You can book up to 2 1-hour return windows for select experiences using a advanced planning option. DAS is valid for up to 30 days from the start of the registration. Once the service has elapsed, guests will need to re-register. That is what they wrote for basically the accommodations. The accommodations are for basically those with disabilities who need it. So the DAS is intended to accommodate a small percentage of guests who, due to a developmental disability like autism or similar, are unable to wait in a conventional queue for an extended period of time. DAS does not provide immediate access to experiences, but rather allow guests to request a return time for a specific experience that is comparable to the current standby line. The guests who are requesting to use the DAS must be present during the registration and experience the attraction when redeeming a DAS return time at Disney World theme parks. This is also for Disneyland as well, for all you who were wondering if this is also going to be for Disneyland. It is. It's going to be for all Disney parks. When speaking to a cast member, like right now, like I said, I am currently on the wait virtual queue right now, because mine elapsed. My DAS has elapsed. I get it for my my Asperger's, and I get it for because of the anxiety I get for my Asperger's and my my twitches I have, and not being able to stay in the line because I get really overwhelmed, and it causes a lot. And there are other people that are just like that. There are other people out there that get really overwhelmed. Their anxiety is bad. And it's sad that Disney has decided to go this route. Now, over at Universal, they have a system where you use an app. and you'll get just a doctor's note or something from your doctor that says the diagnosis of what it is. Not really, because they really can't go too much into it due to HIPAA laws. But the thing about it is, I like the system over at Universal because it stays into an account for a year once you're approved. Once you are approved at Universal for the DAS, their disability pass, all you have to do is give them the code number that you have. So they'll give you a confirmation number, and they will basically say, okay, give us the confirmation number, and then they'll give you a 2-week, depending upon, it could be 2 weeks, like, so if you're an annual pass holder, you'll get 2 weeks at Universal for the disability pass. If you are a team member, you only get the day. And then if you are staying just for your trip, you'll just get it for the amount of your trip. So they have that whole situation with that. But I like their situation because, like I said, it's on an app. And it doesn't take that long. Honestly, it really doesn't. I think the whole process took, for me, a couple hours. And then they'll call you. So, like, if you're already on... Okay, let's go with Universal Property right now. So, Universal has the app. If you need a disability pass, when you come to Universal, and I'm a team member, so I'm just letting you know that I know what the system is because I'm on it. So this is how it goes. You'll go to the guest services. You will ask for the disability pass. They will give you the QR code for that disability pass. You will scan the QR code. You just fill out the stuff you need to do. If you do have the document saved on like a PDF file or something on your phone, you'll be able to upload it right then and there. So what they'll do is they'll let you fill it all out. Now, granted, if you don't have it, they still will let you fill it out, and then you will get it for the duration of your trip. That way you could still have it, because they're not going to inconvenience you. But what they'll do is that when you come back on your next trip, you'll be able to upload all that information when you get home, and then they will call you. They might even call you on the trip as well to be like, hey, what is the exact reasoning that we need to give you the disability pass? And then they'll give you a confirmation code, which will be your code that you need to give every single time. So, like, if you go home after your trip is done, you fill out you filled it all out, and you put the documents in from a doctor and all that, they will call you if they haven't already, and they will it will be there for a year. So you'll have 1 full year from the time of when you first set up and was approved that they will allow you to keep your disability pass for Universal. So say you come back in 4 months. All right, well, you don't have to do the process over again. You just pull up your app, and on the app, there will be a virtual card. Click the virtual card, and on there will have your ID number. Your ID number, then you'll just hand over to the guest relations person, and they will give you the pass for, like I said, if you're a team member, you'll get 1 day. If you are a annual pass holder, you'll get 2 weeks. And if you're staying as a guest, you will get it for the duration of your trip. That's what they do over at Universal. And that's what we were thinking that Disney, when they announced it 2 days ago, that they were going to change their DAS system. And I was assuming, like most people were like, okay, they're going to go the same route as Universal, which was great for me because anybody who was already approved by this system that Universal has, they won't have to be reapproved by Disney. All they would have to do is call up the company and say, hey, because when you set up the app, it will tell you which parks you would like to put on. So SeaWorld was on there, Busch Gardens was on there, Hollywood, Universal, and Universal Orlando were on there. So all you would have to do is call them up and be, hey, could you add Disneyland and Disney World on there? Unfortunately, Disney decided to go in a different route. And like I said, I'm on virtual queue line right now to talk to a cast member. about this DAS system, just so that I can get a little more clarity for people who truly need it. Now, I get that they're doing this because that they're trying to get these people who have abused the system off the line. Also, just between you and me, I think it's also a cash grab by Disney because they want people to start buying the Lightning Lane. But that's between you and me. But yeah, but this is what gets me. So if I were to go tonight to Disney and renew my DAS, which I have to tonight when I go to Epcot for the Garden Rocks Festival concert. So when I renew it, this is telling me that on May 19th, I'll be able to keep my pass, but on May 20th, I'm going to have to renew it with the new system. So I would get it from today till the 19th. So you wouldn't even get the original 90 days or it was 60 days. You wouldn't get the 60 days. You would get just a little, maybe 30, 39 days. You'll get 39 days from today. But yeah, so you'll get the 39 days, and then on May 20th, you have to go do this virtual wait queue, which, by the way, I was on it yesterday, and it closed on me. That's how many people are trying to call right now. It's inconvenient. It's very inconvenient for families who truly need it. And they're just specifically doing it for kids and adults who have, like I read before, which is the disabilities of autism and basically anything, autism or similar. So what I don't get is how long have I been holding to talk to someone? I'm just talking to talk. I want to make sure. On the Witty card. So yesterday, okay, I get what you're saying. So yesterday, I was on the line at. Hold on, I have it right here. I was on that virtual queue for the DAS at. Let's see. I gotta scroll up because they ask you those questions and all that you need. I was on there on April 9th at, looks like 1809. So that is military time. I'm trying to think military time. 608. 609. So at 609, I was on the virtual queue. They ended and closed at 7. They put me back in the queue this morning because I kept my computer up and running, and I'm still in the queue. I have not spoken to anybody. So it's a very long process, and it's causing so many problems. Like I said, I also have DAS. I got it because of my Asperger's and my anxiety, because I have impulses. I get, a bunch of jitters and all that. I also was diagnosed also as a child as well and as an adult with ADHD. So I have both. I have both the Asperger's and the ADHD. So they're both fighting it out every single day. I have to take medication for the ADHD. And what I have to do is I get pretty fidgety. And it's been like that since I was a kid. I've been very fidgety. So it's hard for me to wait in very long lines. And that's what it was designed for. For me, it's hard for me talking about this situation, being that there are people out there who need it. And I know a bunch of people. There's this little girl named Harper. She has been a family friend of mine since 2019. She has been diagnosed with spina bifida. She actually is in a wheelchair. Sometimes she's doing better with the walking and all that. But they have the DAS for her spina bifida, and now that's basically now this new system is going to take that away from her. She can't wait in long lines, and it's not and this is basically saying that they're only going by mental disabilities. But that doesn't make any sense. There are other disabilities that help people that they can't get out of line. They have to get out of line for, that they can't wait in those 3-hour lines. I mean, let's be honest. If Tiana's Bayou does not end up being a virtual queue, that ride on opening day is going to end up being close to a 300 to 400 minute wait. Who's going to wait on that line? Especially with those with disabilities. It's hurtful. It's hard. I'm very passionate about this because people's lives are getting torn up now because people abuse the system. And you know what the funny part about it is? I blame also Disney. And the reason I blame Disney is because they allowed it in the first place. DAS used to have mobility on there. They took that off in 2019. Mobility was taken off. We knew that, actually, because I originally first had it for my mobility, because I had I could barely walk. I was just horrible. I couldn't stand in lines. I just couldn't walk. I eventually had surgery to correct some of the stuff. But the thing about it is that they took that off. And then I had to talk to someone and be like, well, what qualifies now for DAS? And I said, well, I have ADHD and I've been diagnosed with that, and I've been diagnosed as Asperger's, which now we're finding out that Asperger's is not even a thing anymore. I just found that out recently, that Asperger's is not even a thing. Because now they're saying Asperger's is a form of autism, no matter what it is. So they're chalking it up as high functioning autism, but it's still autism. I like the word Asperger's, and I don't know if it was because, again, it's scientists being scientists, biologists being biologists. They're all doing their thing to fix whatever they're trying to fix. But let's be honest. Disney caused a lot of problems after the pandemic, which was they changed the lightning lane. They took away the free fast passes, which now caused people to abuse the DAS system. The DAS system was never abused when they had the free fast passes. How do I know this? I used to work at Disney. I worked there for 4 years. I would always, and I still do it today. When they had the free fast passes, DAS wasn't even a thing. People didn't even know about it. It was this hidden thing that only select people who had the disability knew. Then the pandemic hit. When the pandemic hit, everything closed, everything changed, everyone changed their ruling. Even when I was still at Disney during the pandemic, we went from hand-checking security to now this new machine system that absolutely is garbage. And if you all believe me, I guarantee you all believe that this new system is garbage. Because even if you still walk through with your phone and all that stuff, you're still getting beeped, you're still getting sent over to get checked. But that's a whole other system that I can talk about for days upon. But I will tell you, you're much safer at Universal than you are at Disney. But when we came out of the pandemic, or slowly opening, there was no fast passes. And why? Because everything was reservation system. So the reservations came. The reservations then caused for change where only a certain amount of people are in the park. So they did not need to use the fast pass system. Now we're in a couple of years later, and look what they're doing now. Reservation systems are being eased out, and now it's going to be a free-for-all for everyone, which it should be, because it's been like that for years. But it allowed everyone to abuse the DAS system. Everyone was making up some stupid excuse to take it away from actual people who have disabilities. And it hurts. It hurts because they didn't want to pay for Lightning Lane. So they make up I don't like cursing. I really don't. They make up a bullshit excuse to get the DAS. Disney believes them. And that's why we had so many people on Fastlane. And I noticed it. Lightning Lane has been getting much longer than the actual lines itself. Now, when it was 50 minutes for Haunted Mansion, 50 minutes, think about this. Haunted Mansion's 50 minutes long. I look at the regular line, I look at the Lightning Lane line. The Lightning Lane line was longer than the actual line itself. That's what caused it to be 50 minutes, because they're trying to get everyone out of the Lightning Lane and stopping the regular line. Now, granted, this is how they go. If you put 8 people on the regular line, you got to let 80 people on for the fast lane, the Lightning Lane. That's from a friend of mine, by the way. That's from a friend who works attractions. They told me that if I were to let 8 people on the regular line, the standby line, I have to let 80 people for the Lightning Lane to go through. Because it's a whatever number ratio times 10. So if they let 10, they're going to let 100. But what's upsetting about this is the DAS system is becoming a complete sham. It's hurting many people who truly need it. Like I just said before, I'm still online. I'm looking at it right now. I'm still online to talk to a cast member about what is happening. I want information because I'm still going to Disney tonight and I'm going to go get my DAS because I have to renew. But I need to know from an actual cast member, what are they planning to do come May 20th? Because May 20th is going to be basically a nightmare for every single person who needs to be on DAS. It's going to happen. And if you're going to have to make us go on a virtual, listen to this, you have to go on a virtual video call. No more in person. They're trying to get rid of this whole in-person thing, and it's really annoying. But you're going on this virtual video chat. I've been there on since 6:09 last night. I still haven't got in. Think about that. It is almost 24 hours, and I still have not been able to talk to a cast member about the DAS system. That is a major problem. And they tell you have to do it 2 days to 30 days before your trip. Well, okay. Let's say my trip is tomorrow. I put in the virtual video chat yesterday. It's 24 hours. In the next 24 hours, I'm going to be in the park. I still haven't spoken to no one. Now I'm at the park. What do I do about DAS? Unfortunately, you do nothing. And why is that? Because they're making you go on this stupid video chat. It's sad. It's sad that we've come to this where people lost their livelihoods, kind of say. And now they're fearing that they're not going to be able to get the DAS passes from Disney. If Disney had just decided to go and do the Universal Studios way, I doubt we wouldn't be having these problems. Universal got it right. They got it right when they went with the app. Disney is getting it wrong, as usual. Disney seems to always think it's better. What they think out of their heads is best for us. The sad part about it is, it's not. I mean, we've all been fighting. We've been saying, what is Disney doing to combat against Universal's Epic Universe? They're really not doing anything. They can put out every little expansion that they want. Oh, see, look. They just put me on error. So I have just been kicked out of the queue to talk to someone for a DAS. I have been kicked out after almost 24 hours. How the hell is this going to work? How are we going to be able to do this? I feel that this is a mistake. I do believe that there needed to be a stricter ruling on the DAS. Well, hello, Max. Which video? Do you remember which video you were in? I've done many videos, so I'm just trying to remember which one. But to be able to know that now I've been the one with Halloween in like 2 to 3 years ago. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, how you been? Yeah, now I'm remembering that. Yes, we did have someone propose right after. Yeah. I believe I put that on the show too. I believe I put their proposal, and then I gave them the video, and the link to the episode too, so that they'll be able to show everyone, hey, look, I was on an episode of the Root of All Theme Parks, which was originally the Root of All Disney at that time. I only had just changed the name only about a year ago. So, but... And probably should have kept it as the Root of All Disney, because Disney's got a lot of problems. The thing about this DAS thing is, I don't know. Like I said, now I've been kicked out of the queue. I don't know how I'm going to talk to someone. The only way I'm going to be able to talk to someone is if when I go tonight, I talk to them in person and see if I can get some information out of them. That would be the only way. Because this virtual video chat is not going to work. This is going to overload the system, and people who truly need it are not going to get it. And I feel bad. And you know what? I don't feel bad about myself. I feel bad for others. And the reason I feel bad for others is they need it more. The only reason the only reason I get it is because I have the high-functioning autism, Asperger's, but that's gone, apparently. That there's no such thing as Asperger's anymore. And the ADHD, which were already pre-qualified requirements for the DAS. And I believe they still are. But I just read some comments about, what if you have Crohn's disease? You have to use the bathroom constantly. What are you going to do? Well, the new system did state that when you get the DAS from the new system that they're going to be bringing into, they will be having a return to line So if you have to run out of the line because of whatever it may be for the DAS, they will give you a return to line pass. I kind of like it, but in the sense of it's still dumb. Because you're still kicking people out who have Crohn's disease off that line. They're not allowed to get the DAS. So they would have to be in the regular line. The mobility, that was taken off, like I said, back in 2019. And with that came a lot of backlash as well. Mobility is a little bit harder for disabilities, but there are certain mobility disabilities that should be allowed, but they're not going to. I don't get it. I get that they're doing it to keep these people from lying to get on the DAS, and I get that completely. I'm all for Disney trying to get rid of them. But you're hurting other people in the process. And that's going to cause many people to not come to Disney anymore. And like I said earlier before, I believe it's a cash grab. Simple as that. The problem is they sell out on, vacation days like spring break, Christmas time, Thanksgiving time. The Lightning Lane sells out. So for those who used to have the DAS that will not qualify anymore, they'll be kicked off, and then they'll have to get the Lightning Lane. The problem is the Lightning Lane sells out, and they didn't get one. Now they're SOL. And that's a problem. Like I said, I'm going tonight. I'll find out some more information from you guys, and I'll do a regular video of explaining it, what they told me. But we have some other news. We got the 1900 Park Fair that opened up today, the grand reopening. I did get to go. And with the new grand reopening, we got characters of Prince Ali, Mirabelle, Cinderella, and Adventurer Tiana. That was pretty cool, seeing her in her new adventure gear for the new Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So that was fun. But it goes back to the whole thing, including with that. We'll go back to the DAS real quickly. That ride is going to open up to at least a 300 to 400 minute wait. You're going to tell me, you're going to tell someone who's got Crohn's disease or someone who used to be on the DAS that should be considered on the disability pass. You're going to tell them you got to wait on this 400-minute wait line. Oh, and if you leave, you lose your spot. Not fair. Not fair at all. Maybe that's why they're going to take Toronto off and put the Tiana's Bayou as a virtual queue. I could see that coming. But the 1900 Park Fair, the food was delicious. Funny about it was I ate something spicy, and it said spicy scramble, so I thought it was like a spicy, scrambled egg. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It had vegetables in it. It was still delicious. It was a spicy tofu scramble. It was still good. Never had tofu before, but it was delicious. And it's supposed to be healthier for you. So it was good. I do want to say this to all you who are listening and watching. I don't know what's going to happen with TikTok. So if you want to, you can follow all my adventures. The same videos I post here, I could post over at on YouTube. But you can visit me at YouTube at the Root of All Theme Parks YouTube channel. So if you guys would be willing to do that, subscribe, like everything. I actually just put up the 1900 Park Fair review and whole episode. And then tonight I'm going to have another episode for the Garden Rocks concert series with the Hooligans, who are one of my favorite bands. They actually do perform, by the way. The Hooligans do perform at the UK Pavilion, but under their other name. They do a bunch of British covers. But yeah, the 1900 Park Fair was good. I enjoyed it. The characters are great. What else? The atmosphere, everything was great. They kept Big Bertha. That was fun. And then they also had paintings around the whole room, and they were all like, I could tell from sitting in my seat, they were water paintings, and it just looked great. It looked amazing. But I've ranted on way too long. I have to go to Epcot, so I will talk to you all later, and I will get you that information from the DAS when I get to Epcot tonight. I will let you all know in a video about what exactly is it going to be now. But for all you who did listen, for all you who did, wrote me some comments and everything, I hope for those of you who do have it, qualify. I hope you do. Because you guys, if you need it, you need it. I feel bad that it took some bad people to ruin it for the good people. Well, Hatters, I'm going to head out. I'm going to Epcot. I'm going to go see the Hooligans. I will see you on another day. And like I said, I'm going to get that DAS information video out very soon. Have a good night.